Thank you so much for being here. It's 11 o'clock on the dot, so if it's okay with you, we are starting with the session. I was just waiting. We have a student that's going to share her exciting adventures over at Bristol with you guys. She's not here yet, but if not, we can start, and then once she logs in, she can start her her testimonial if that's okay with you. So we're here with the University of Bristol. We're very excited. Bristol University is one of the best universities in the UK. It's a Russell Group. Sumi will tell you all about it, everything you need to know. That's a beautiful picture on the background. So I'm pretty sure it's also a very beautiful campus and a very beautiful city. We're very excited to have a partnership with the university to be able to have a lot of opportunities for Mexican students. Thank you so much for your time of being here. Thank you, Sumi, for your support. This session is going to be recorded, so if anyone knows anyone that wanted to be here but couldn't because of time, dates, etc., it's going to be up on our YouTube in a couple of days. So, Sumi, I leave you the floor, and once Isabel joins us, she can start telling us her testimonial. I'm pretty sure you can share your screen now.
Perfect, thank you. So I'll start my presentation. Maybe what I can do is make it a little bit faster.
Okay.
That way we've got a longer time for Q&A, and when Isabel joins, we can switch right to her. So let me share my screen right now.
She is just, I see that she's just here. Isabel, sí, ya estás aquí, ¿verdad? So maybe we don't.
Sí,
put
aquí
you
estoy.
in the
Oh,
middle.
brilliant. Okay, great. Yeah, over to you, Isabel. I'll keep my slide on.
Thank you. Hola,
Gracias.
Isabel, muchas gracias por tu tiempo y por compartirnos tu experiencia.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Muchas gracias y disculpen la demora que estaba ahí un poco atorada con el link de Zoom. Pero sí, muchas gracias a ustedes por invitarme. Pues muy brevemente, yo les cuento que mi nombre es Isabel Rivera. Yo hice una maestría en la Universidad de Bristol en políticas públicas en 2017-2018. Y cuando hice mis estudios lo hice con un paquete bastante diverso de financiamiento. Tuve financiamiento, tuve beca, tuve varias becas de hecho, y pues ahorros. Tuve ahí también que aportar parte de los gastos con mis ahorros. Entonces, la experiencia de lanzarme pues hacer una maestría en el extranjero fue sumamente gratificante, pero fue también un proceso duro, la verdad. Y yo creo que es importante para todas las personas que están en el webinario en este momento pues, que piensen también que es una cosa de echarle muchas ganas, de estar intentando de muchas maneras como sortear los retos que representa hacer todo el proceso, porque sí es mucho. em, es como tener muy clara, obviamente, la dirección de lo que uno quiere hacer, pero también los pasos y pues que hay cosas que funcionan, hay cosas que no, y hay que estar siempre muy ágil y muy dispuesto a ajustar los planes. Em, yo creo que sería a lo mejor interesante que les contara un poco de cómo fue que, primero, que elegí la Universidad de Bristol. Creo que eso sería importante. Y segundo, pues quizá hablarles un poquito sobre el proceso del financiamiento. Entonces, ¿les parece bien? Sí, Sofía.
Sí, perfecto, Isa, mil
Sí.
gracias.
Y continúo en español, ¿verdad? Perdóname que
Sí,
no,
sí,
no te
sí.
pregunté. Ah,
Sí,
listo.
como tú prefieras, pero más fácil. Si quieres.
Listo, listo. Sí, es que no sé los asistentes, supongo que serán por allá de México,
Todos son
paisanos.
mexicanos, sí.
Ah, listo, perfecto, perfecto. Bueno, pues no, muy rápidamente les cuento que sí, bueno, yo soy egresada del Tecnológico de Monterrey, Campus Chihuahua. Estudié Relaciones Internacionales y para mí el paso siguiente después de hacer 5 años de experiencia profesional era buscar especializarme, era como aprender como, digamos, ganar otro tipo de conocimientos y experiencias que me ayudaran a definir mi carrera profesional y a dar como los siguientes pasos en mi carrera profesional. Entonces, estuve entre varias universidades, estuve entre la University of Leeds, la uni de Leeds, la uni de Birmingham y la uni de Bristol en Reino Unido. Entonces, para mí fue muy importante revisar muy a detalle los programas educativos y ver qué realmente se alineaba con lo que yo quería hacer en mi futuro, lo que yo estaba pensando para mi futuro. Y la Universidad de Bristol, el programa de políticas públicas, de Public Policy de la Universidad de Bristol, me pareció sumamente fuerte y las especialidades que ofrecían eran muy alineadas a lo que yo quería. Em, Creo que el segundo factor que me hizo irme por la uni de Bristol fue la ciudad. Bristol es una ciudad increíble, Bristol es una ciudad en verdad que enriquece muchísimo la experiencia que uno tiene como estudiante. Es un año, si están haciendo una maestría es un año, se pasa rapidísimo, pero en verdad que si esto lo hacen en una ciudad tan bonita, en una universidad excelente, créanme que le sacan muchísimo más provecho. Entonces, ese fue como el proceso un poquito. Estuve viendo, incluso tenía una beca que me ofrecía la Universidad de Birmingham y me ganó Bristol. Bristol fue como mucho, o sea, me ganó mucho por el programa, me ganó por la ciudad. Había escuchado cosas maravillosas de la universidad del programa. Entonces, a pesar de que tenía una bequita por ahí, dije, no, bueno, voy a buscar la manera de conseguir ese dinero de otra manera. Entonces, el paquete que hice de financiamiento, les comentaba hace un momento, era em, como agarrando Conacyt. Conacyt fue definitivamente un paso muy importante, pero como mi programa no era en aquel momento, no desconozco cómo están las reglas ahora, pero mi programa no era prioritario, entonces no me cubrían la totalidad de la colegiatura, me cubrían una parte de la manutención y pues era bastante difícil para mí imaginarme, oh Dios mío, cómo voy a conseguir la matrícula, porque incluso con el descuento que ofrecía la universidad em, por ser becario de Conacyt, tenía yo que financiar una parte sustancial de la matrícula, que eran, en aquel momento me parece que eran 19.000 libras al año. Entonces, en ese momento fue que consideré yo la parte del financiamiento y FUNED fue, digamos, genial para esto porque con el apoyo combinado de FUNED y de FIDER, de Banjico, el programa de Banjico, yo conseguí mezclar esto y pues solventar la parte que me faltaba de la matrícula. Entonces, Em, una cosa que yo quería mencionar rápidamente de FUNED es que el proceso fue realmente súper, 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 súper amigable. Las personas con las que yo hablé en FUNED siempre buscaron la manera de apoyar y de cómo darme las respuestas a las preguntas rápidamente, porque ellos son muy conscientes de cómo funcionan los tiempos de inscripciones, los tiempos para confirmar todo lo que uno tiene que hacer, las visas y demás. Entonces, la agilidad fue genial y también la flexibilidad que tuvieron porque en- después de varias cositas, ahí tuve otra beca adicional de la universidad, una pequeñita de Santander y otra pequeñita, bueno, tan pequeñita, de la beca complemento de la SEP que se ofrecía en aquel momento. Entonces yo le dije a FUNED, mira, gracias por haberme dado $5.000. Creo que solo voy a necesitar la mitad porque lo demás lo logré conseguir de otro lado y FUNED también fueron súper amables, súper flexibles conmigo y me permitieron hacer esa adecuación. Em, y ya, y resumidas cuentas, ese fue el proceso para el financiamiento. La universidad, de nuevo, creo que es muy importante que uno piense muy bien en esa universidad, en cuál universidad y en qué ciudad, y como en el paquete completo de la experiencia, porque pues cuesta trabajo, cuesta dinero, cuesta mucho esfuerzo, hay que estar pagando eso después de que uno sale de trabajar. Entonces es como importante decidir bien. Em, y ya, y Sofía, no sé si hay alguna otra cosita que sería bueno platicar o-
Nada, ahí está, mil gracias, mil gracias, muy valioso tus inputs Y bueno, solo para avisarles que este año ya no existe CONACYT, pero es la CECIT, la CECITI, la Secretaría, y también hay apoyos, está abierta su convocatoria y lo pueden combinar también con FUNED. Ya no es como antes que tenías que solicitar primero a FUNED para tener CONACYT, ahora pueden ser, es un proceso paralelo. Entonces, bueno,
Excelente.
que lo chequen.
Listo, listo, excelente. No, muchísimas gracias por tenerme aquí y una disculpa que si el cambio de horario acá hizo un caos
Pues
con mi calendario, lo
y
siento.
sabemos que estás trabajando, o sea que mil gracias por tu tiempo y por compartir.
Muchas gracias, gracias. Lovely to meet you, Sumi.
Thanks so much, Isabel. Thank you for
Thank
sharing.
you.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Bye, bye.
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 Okay, so that was Isabel, and now the floor is yours to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I hope everyone got a really good glimpse of what it's like to study at the University of Bristol from our alumna, Isabel. So let me introduce myself now. My name is Sumi, and I work at the University of Bristol, specifically in our international office, and I look after students applying from all of Latin America. I don't actually speak Spanish yet, pero estoy aprendiendo. So first of all, well done to all of you for being able to listen to a webinar in 2 languages that is 1 language more than me. So in today's webinar, my session will cover a little bit about the University of Bristol. I think Isabel told you a little bit about how great the city is. I'll tell you more. And also a bit of an introduction to the University of Bristol, including information about the courses we offer and the formats they come in, some of our support services, and a bit of information about our alumni network and how we support students. So let's go straight into it. I like to start off with a little bit of a geography lesson. For those of you who've not been to the UK before, Bristol is located in the southwest of England. It's very close to London, so it's only an hour and a half away from London by train, and it's really well connected to other cities across the UK by bus and train, as well as to other cities in Europe by plane. So it takes you an hour and a half to get to London by train or an hour and a half to get to Paris by plane. So it's a really well-connected city, and it's known for lots of different things. But essentially, Bristol is the 8th biggest city in the UK with a population of 500,000 people. And the most famous thing about Bristol is that it's a notoriously independent city. Bristol has a long history of being a bit of an outlier. 150 years ago, we were the only city in the UK to have its own time zone. We were 10 minutes behind London, and we only had to unify time because people kept missing trains to and from Bristol because of our time zone. Up until about 5 years ago, Bristol had its own currency, the Bristol pound. This was to encourage people to spend locally because they were trying to support local businesses. So Bristol, as you can see, it's got its own identity, it's got its own little personality, and students who come here really enjoy the time that they spend here because it feels like such a unique part of the UK. It's very diverse. So for those of you who are wondering, will I be the only Mexican person in Bristol? Absolutely not. Every year we get at least 15, we have at least 15 Mexican students on campus at any given time, usually more. And then there are lots of people from all over the world and lots of people who work in the city as not just students. And so you end up hearing Spanish on the streets and finding food from home or groceries from home in quite a few different areas. Students also like that Bristol isn't just a city center, so it's not just skyscrapers. Actually, there are no skyscrapers in Bristol. Lots of tall churches, but no skyscrapers. So there's lots of green spaces in Bristol. Even within the university, there are parks in between buildings. One of our halls of residence has its own botanic gardens. It's a really beautiful city for both nature as well as regular city center facilities. For those of you who are a little bit creative, you will love the street art that you find in Bristol, which is allegedly the home of the original Banksy. So you can find a lot of early Banksy works around the city center and around the Bristol area. But you'll also find art and culture if you like theater or you like live music, you like festivals. Bristol is full of that, especially now when the weather is getting a bit warmer. There are so many things to do every weekend. And if you like the arts, you will find a home here. Because of all these things and more, the quality of life that students have in Bristol is really high. And so it's been labeled one of the happiest cities in the UK, one of the kindest cities in the UK, one of the coolest cities in the UK. And so a lot of our Latin American students just like the vibe of Bristol. It's a really easy place to feel at home in. Another essential thing to know about Bristol that Isabel might have mentioned, it's quite a small city. What that means for you as an international student is that you can get everywhere on foot. A little bit different for those of you who live in big Mexican cities, but Bristol's a small city. And to get to most parts of the university would take you about 30 minutes on foot. We are building a new campus. So for those of you who start with us from 2026 or beyond, you may end up doing a bit more walking. But the cool thing about Bristol is that you see so much along the way. So it's a really easy place to be independent in. Many of our students don't spend any money on transport while they're with us. Although obviously you can, there are buses that connect all the different parts of the city and that connect you to areas outside of the city as well. And the university campus is basically in the city. So yeah, as I was mentioning, many of our current students from Latin America really enjoy the experience of being in Bristol. And as Isabel was saying, I think the city that you study in is very important because obviously being able to feel like you're at home, being able to feel comfortable, especially in the UK, which is a very different country in terms of weather, in terms of culture, it's important to be able to find a place that feels comfortable and interesting and exciting. But obviously, the main reason you would be coming to Bristol is to study with us at the University of Bristol. So those of you who've heard of us before probably have heard of us because of these first two numbers. As Sophia mentioned, we're one of the top universities in the UK, but we're also one of the top universities in the world. And there are many different reasons for this. It could be the fact that we have some of the world's best expertise. For example, Bristol is home to the largest collective of environmental historians in all of Europe. It could be because of our facilities. So we've got the UK's most powerful supercomputer in our School of Computer Science. And also we've got the world's largest collection of British theatre archives. There are so many different things that you can find and do at Bristol. And the strength of our university is largely because we've got great academics and great facilities that you as a student would have access to. 26 of our subjects are ranked in the world's top 100, and I'll show you some of our subject areas later. We actually have over 600 courses at the university, and we're also highly targeted by employers in the UK, but also worldwide. And I will talk to you a little bit about the career service at the university as well. So we have 3 faculties that have 6 main subject areas. So there's art, social sciences, and law, engineering and science, and health and life sciences. And within these faculties, we've got lots of different subject specialties. So what you'll want to do, and I can put the link to this in the chat after this, is look at our course finder. Most of you will be here for postgraduate taught courses, so master's courses, but there might be some of you who are interested in research courses as well. And what you can do is look on our website to see exactly what courses we offer. There are loads, but they're all split into these 6 subject areas. So if you have any, what I would recommend that you do while we're on this webinar is have a look for the course you're interested in and see if you've got any specific questions about that course, either now or later. I wanted to talk a little bit about the support services at the university because so courses in the UK look very different from courses in Mexico. The first thing is to know is that master's courses last 1 year, and we also offer masters by research courses, which can take 1 to 2 years, and we offer PhD programs which can take 3 to 4 years. In terms of the study style, the way classes are taught, it's all very different. So in the UK, the emphasis is really on independent learning. You're given a lot of freedom, a lot of intellectual freedom to do your own research, cover the topics you're interested in, make a lot of academic decisions yourself, supported by academics. So some of these support services will be to do with academics and some of them are to do with well-being. But yeah, I'll start breaking them down now. First of all, the Welcome Program is for all students, but for international students, there are a few different levels of support. First, the university gives you guidance during webinars like this to help make sure that you know what to do to gain admission to the university, so that you get information about scholarships, you get information about everything that we offer, basically. The Welcome Program extends from before you start, when we offer you accommodation and visa support, to when you arrive, when we offer a welcome service at the airport and the train stations, depending on where you're arriving. We also have a program of orientation activities to help you get familiar with the campus and the city and the university, with your accommodation, to help you meet people, to help you get familiar with support services like the other ones I'm about to list out. So the Welcome Program is quite a comprehensive way for international students to get familiar with Bristol and get transition into life at university. The next thing on the list is the personal tutor and supervisor. Sometimes these can be the same person, sometimes you get two separate people. A personal tutor is someone who provides you with academic guidance throughout your course. This is someone who can tell you, who can advise you on which units to study if you're torn between two options. They can help you if you have extenuating circumstances at the time of exam. So like if you're not well and you can't submit an assignment on time, or if you need help with an exam, your personal tutor is there to support you through the academic journey of studying at Bristol. Your supervisor is there to support you with your research. So if you're doing a postgraduate taught course, every student will have to do a final research project or a dissertation. And the supervisor that you get will be someone who is an expert in the field that ideally you have chosen to do your research in. So there's a lot of academic support provided to give you the best chances of doing well in the course. And in addition to that, I know we have a lot of Latin American students who worry about studying in English or keeping up with classes, doing research in the style that's required for the UK. There are in-sessional English courses offered to all students, basically. So you can opt in to go for additional English lessons to help you. You'll already have a good enough English language proficiency to get into the course. So to help you get confident about studying and reading and writing in English. We offer visa advice at the university. This is visa advice for you to get your student visa, but also if you're interested in applying for a visa after you finish your course, you could apply for the graduate visa, which is a 2-year post-study work visa. You could apply for the innovator visa if you want to start a business in the UK. If you are going to be sponsored by a company, you'd be applying for a skilled worker visa, and the university can give you different advice based on the situation that you are in. Well-being support, super important. If sometimes studying can be stressful, sometimes moving can be stressful, doing both together can be very stressful. So we've got support services that help you in the form of counseling. This can be individual or group. It can be about physical, emotional, or mental health. And you also will have access to healthcare in the UK through your visa. So you pay for accessing healthcare in the UK through your visa. And the support services, most of them are entirely free. So yeah, you don't need to worry about getting sick when you're abroad. If you're here in the UK, healthcare is more or less covered. Not 100%, but most things will be free. And the university also offers a wide range of well-being counseling services. Lastly, the Global Lounge. It can be hard to be away from home at the festive season. So if you celebrate Christmas or Easter, which is coming up, or Dia de los Muertos, that's one that we celebrate here at Bristol. The Global Lounge is where we celebrate most international holidays. So you will have a community to have a little party with. You might celebrate Chinese New Year or Eid for the first time ever. There's lots to look forward to. You'll meet international people from all over the world, and you'll have a very international time, even though you'll just be in the one country. The next very important service I wanted to highlight was our career service. So at Bristol, we've got a career service that's award-winning. Every student at the university has access to the career service while you're there, as well as for up to 3 years after you graduate. And there are university-wide career services, and some faculties also have their own industrial or professional liaison offices. So what you can expect when you're studying at Bristol related to careers are to have your inbox full of invites to events that take place throughout the year that allow you to engage with different employers across different sectors, whether that's through a fair where you go from booth to booth, dropping your CV, or workshops where you might be taught how to write a CV for the UK, or career talks. So you might get an employer from an organization that you're interested in coming to give a talk. And that's an opportunity to network with the said employer as well. So there are lots of activities like that. But then in some faculties, you'll also have access to mentoring or the ability to do your dissertation or your final project with a real company, so an applied project. So you can engage with employers through your courses as well. And the other option is to engage with them through societies, because societies also have good links with industry. The last one is kind of unique to Bristol. So at Bristol as a city is very well known for innovation. We are one of 2 cities in the UK that receive the highest amount of investments from startup funders. And also we have a wide range of innovation courses at the university that give you access to our incubator, and our University Business Incubator was named first in the world for 3 years in a row. So innovation's a big thing at Bristol, and if any of you have an idea and you'd like to get it started while you're at university, you can. In fact, next week is when our innovation graduates are showcasing their final projects, and they'll be competing for £75,000 worth of funding. So there are some really good opportunities that you have access to through both the Career Service, the Center for Innovation, but we have such a wide variety of support services to help students become highly employable. I know you'll have questions about careers. Feel free to post them in there. It's never a guarantee that you get a job after your degree, especially if you're looking to apply in the UK. But what we can do is make sure that you're presenting what employers want here in the UK. And yeah, we have quite a good number of students who've managed to get work experience while they're here, either during the course or after they graduate. And the last support service I wanted to touch on, a lot of students ask questions about housing while they're in the UK. So Bristol has about 9,000 beds on offer, and international students are the top priority for living in university accommodation. So we've got lots of halls, old halls that are a bit more classic. They might be 250 years old, or they might be 40 years old. We've got a wide variety. And then we've got brand new halls that are like 1 year old. So you can choose the type of accommodation that suits you best. All of our accommodation comes with services. It'll be things like security. Some of them have got study rooms in them, laundry facilities, games rooms, or sports, tennis courts, music rooms. There are lots of different facilities in different halls. And of course, security, and also lots of social events that you can meet other people in and make friends in. So if you're applying this year, the deadline to apply for accommodation is the 30th of June. But as long as you apply by the 30th of June, you will be guaranteed a place in university accommodation. Feel free to ask any questions you've got about halls. So yeah, last word from one of our current students who is doing law with us. Actually, I think she graduated. She's about to graduate. But yeah, she's had an excellent time studying at Bristol and accessing all of the different employability opportunities that are available. And I think this is one of the big differences at Bristol. When you study at Bristol, the name of your degree opens doors. And there are just lots of opportunities from there. I wanted to quickly touch upon how you can apply, because I'm not sure if those of you watching today, or actually those of you watching the webinar on repeat, have already applied or not. So if you haven't applied, you are still welcome to submit an application for this year. The entry requirements are the equivalent of a second upper, which in Mexican terms, it depends on your university, but usually we're looking for about a 7.5 out of 10, or 75%, whichever system your university uses. We also ask students to meet our English language requirements, which students usually meet with IELTS or TOEFL or PTE, but there are a few different tests that we accept. And I'm happy to give you the entry requirements for any specific courses. If you've got questions, please put them in the chat. To apply, it's a really straightforward process. You can apply online on our website. There are links on each of our course pages to apply now. Once you get onto the application portal, you have to create an account, and then you fill in all of your personal details, like your name, your address, that kind of thing. You send us information about your grades, so that can be your transcripts and certificates. If your transcripts are usually in Spanish, you would also need to submit a translation. And you will write a personal statement telling us about your motivation to pursue this course at Bristol. We also need to see one reference letter, usually from a university, but if you've graduated more than 2 years ago, you can submit one from your employer. Most of our courses are actually free to apply for. The exceptions are any of our courses in business and economics, which require a £60 application fee. All other courses are free to apply for. At the moment, many of our courses are still open for applications, so feel free to submit one, and you should hear back from us within 6 weeks of applying. I wanted also to touch quickly upon funding opportunities. As you know, we are a partner of FUNED, and so you can get an automatic 30% reduction on your tuition fee if you are given the FUNED, if you're selected for FUNED funding. If anyone here is not from Mexico, we also have lots of agreements with other funding bodies in Latin America. I'd also recommend all of you who are applying for this year to also submit an application for our Think Big Scholarship. The Think Big Scholarship is worth between £6,500 to £13 to £26,000. So there are 3 levels of scholarships. And if you're awarded one of these scholarships, as well as FUNED, you can select whichever one is higher. So it's either the 30% reduction or the Think Big Scholarship. The deadline to apply this year is April 23rd. So if you are holding an offer from us, hopefully you've already applied or will apply. You do not need to have an offer, by the way, to submit your Think Big application. So it is possible to apply for your course of interest today and submit your Think Big application immediately after, because we can take up to 6 weeks to make our decisions. Many students from Latin America also try applying for the Chevening Scholarship, which is a full scholarship that covers tuition and provides a cost of living stipend. So if you're not successful with your scholarship applications this year, Chevening is one to consider for next year as well. Right, so I'm just about at the end of my presentation. I just wanted to say, Bristol is a great university. A lot of students have chosen us in the past, and a lot of students are choosing us in the present and will in the future as well. When you join the Bristol community, you have access to people who've studied at the university 40 years ago, who are at the pinnacle of their career. You will have access to the people who study there 40 years from now. So you'll have access to all of the juniors as well. It's a great big community, and it's one that you will have access to it's an experience that will impact you forever. So we very much hope that you will join us and the hundreds and thousands of people who've come before you already. So just to sum up, the main reasons students from Latin America choose to come and study at Bristol, firstly, it's because they know they're going to have a great time. It's going to be cheaper than London, but just as much fun. It's because they're going to get degrees that are recognized throughout the world And this can be impactful for you if you're thinking about working in places outside of Latin America as well as at home. Sorry, I realized that the next bit has an error, but we've got alumni and career networks in the US, yes, but also in Mexico and throughout Latin America, in Singapore, in Belgium, all over the world. So if you are thinking about starting an international journey, just know we will be able to connect you with people everywhere. Our Think Big scholarships are really popular. You might have heard, actually, it was in the news in Mexico on Valentine's Day. We had 2 Mexican students who each got the Think Big scholarship. And so a large number of Mexican students receive the Think Big scholarship every year. And lastly, coming to study at Bristol is a great way to kickstart your career in the UK or in the world, because there is so much industry that is based in Bristol, and you will just meet so many relevant people for your career. So that's it for me. Thank you all so much for listening. I've got our Americas office email address here, but I'm also going to put it in the chat. We have a dedicated team of people who look after students who are applying from Mexico, and the rest of the Americas. So if you'd like to get in touch and ask questions after this is the email address you should reach out to us on. Thank you all so much. I'll start looking at the questions now.
Thank you, Sumi. That was great, and I love the little images on your presentation, how they move. It's very nice touch.
Thank you, Dante.
So we do have a question, but first I wanted to give a little announcement. We at FUNED, we have a partnership with Pearson PTE. It's an English test that is accepted at Bristol. So if anyone hasn't taken it, you can have 20% discount. I will put the code in the chat so you guys can take advantage of that.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. So it's 20% discount in the exam.
That's well worth it. I took the PTE as well, and the thing I like about the PTE is that you get your results really soon.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it works quite well if you're looking at applying to universities and getting an unconditional offer quickly. Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing now so I can just look at the questions.
If you want, I can read them for you. So first is Miguel Cornejo. After graduating, how many of your international students stay in the UK, or do they usually return home?
Really good question. I mean, I think a lot of students expect to stay, but I find that it's harder and harder now because it's so competitive. So the things that you have to do to be attractive to employers, you have to do them from the start of your course, not at the end. So yeah, a lot of students who are actively involved in career-based activities throughout their master's program, which is only 1 year, and engage with employers, especially start applying really early on, because especially it depends on your industry. But if you are applying to a law firm or to a management trainee program, usually they open for applications in September or October, right after you started your course. So I think it really depends. It's never a stable number. But the ways that students can stay in the UK after they graduate are either they get sponsored by a company, and this means like they get sponsored and they get paid employment before they graduate, or they get the graduate route visa, which is where you self-sponsor and then you can work part-time, work full-time, do maternity covers, do short-term work. It depends. So you have a wider range of jobs you can apply for compared to being on the student visa or a skilled worker visa, or the innovator visa if you have a business idea that is that can be launched in the UK. We don't track, unfortunately, how many people stay or go. Usually it's super subjective, but it's possible as long as you compete.
Mm-hmm. At FUNED, we do not ask you to come home. We do help with, sometimes they ask for a letter saying that we as sponsors do not require you to return home. And I can tell you that in the last couple of years, we've had successful Mexicans staying in the UK, getting jobs, as Sumi said, first as interns, and then they stay on full time. So it's a good opportunity. It's a good time to be thinking about that. There's another question from Alan. How good is the university at automotive engineering, or is it more general related to engineering?
So at Bristol, we offer mechanical engineering, which is what a lot of students who are interested in automotive consider pursuing. And we also offer aerospace, electrical and electronic, and civil engineering, as well as 2 general engineering degrees, engineering maths and engineering design. I can send you a link to the list of engineering courses we offer through the course finder. And I'm guessing you're looking for a master's course, so I will just send you a list of all of the engineering courses that we offer. Let me just put that here. Sorry, it's a very long link, but basically these are, if you click on that, you should be able to see the full list of master's courses offered by our Faculty of Engineering.
Thank you. Isela asked, can you recommend alternatives that are not so expensive for TOEFL test preparation?
So the PTE with the 20% discount sounds pretty good. Yeah, we don't accept Duolingo or some of the less expensive tests, but PTE when I took it was the cheapest option. Like it was cheaper than TOEFL and cheaper than IELTS, and then with a 20% discount, it'll be even cheaper. So I guess PTE would be my recommendation.
Yeah, take advantage of that, Isela. Any more questions? Anyone that wants to open your microphones, I can ask away as well. While they're thinking about that, I also want to take the opportunity to invite everyone to a virtual fair that we are hosting on May 15th. Bristol is going to be there. So if you have any follow-ups and you want to visit David or Sumi at the event, you can pop in at their stand and you can ask your questions. It's going to be in the metaverse. We're going to have lots of interactive opportunities with universities and with other funding bodies such as FIDER. CECIT is going to be there as well, and also Chiefning. So if you guys want to ask anything about Chiefning and see what the requirements are, deadlines, etc., Kimi from Chiefning is going to be there as well. So it might be a good opportunity for everyone that is thinking about the UK to join. And we're also going to have mock tests, 30 mock tests for the PTE, Isela, that you were asking. We're going to have 30 free tests, mock tests, sorry, for the PTE that we're going to be they're going to be given out in the scavenger hunt. We're also going to have some TOEFL discounts, some Air Canada discounts, and other little things that we're trying to get for you guys. So make sure you register at the event, and you can pop in whenever you have the chance during the day.
Amazing. Yeah, it sounds like such a good event.
Hopefully, with the help of everyone.
I'm also going to share a link to our Think Big scholarship. If any of you are already have already applied or are already offer holders, please apply for Think Big because yeah, the only way of getting it is to apply for it.
So Miguel Cornejo is asking if there's any chance to get in touch with Isabel, the alumna that was sharing with us. I guess we can put you in touch with her through an email so she can share with you a little bit more of her experience. If you want, you can share with me your email in a personal chat, and I can put you in touch with her.
Thank you.
Regina asks, do you have any design or architecture programs?
So we don't have architecture, and actually, if you're looking for architecture in the city of Bristol, there's another university in the same city called the University of West of England, Bristol, UWE Bristol, and they've got architecture programs. For us, the only thing that we have related to design is UI UX design, which is quite far away from architecture, so it might not be what you're looking for. In any case, though, I'll send you a link to the course. So
The Architectural Association is going to be at FUNED Connected. It's one of the best schools in architecture. It's also in the UK. That's in London. So if you want, you can pop in there, Regina, and talk to them. Does the visa allow you to work and study? Maria Felix asks.
a great question, Maria. So yes, your visa to study in the UK allows you to work for up to 20 hours per week during term time and up to 40 hours per week during the holidays. Just a thing to note is that because you can only work part-time, the money that you make is usually not enough to cover your cost of living. We tell students to budget for about £1,000 to £1,200 per month for all expenses to live in Bristol. And if you are to work part-time, you probably would only be able to make well, how about half of that or less? Do we have psychology programs? Yes. So I'm gonna put a link to the course finder in the chat. And you'll be able to see all of our postgraduate courses and then filter them. So you can filter for taught or research courses for the subject area you're interested in. Yeah, for full-time or part-time study. Although international students can only pursue full-time degrees, so everything will need to be full-time for you. But yeah, you should be able to find our psychology programs. We've got some really interesting ones in neuropsychology.
Wow. Thank you. Adolfo is asking, do I need prior work experience in the field to apply for mechanical engineering program?
No, so the good thing about most master's programs in the UK are that you do not need work experience to pursue them. Sometimes it can be beneficial though, so have a think about that. Like if you have just graduated from your course, sometimes the better idea is to get a bit of work experience. Think about like what your interests are professionally, and when you've had a bit of work experience, your course will affect you differently. You'll make different choices in your course because you'll have some real world experience to apply the knowledge to. So it's not necessary, but personally, I would recommend it.
Yeah, for sure. Anyone else? Don't be shy.
I'm also going to put the Americas office email address in the chat so that if you have any questions later on, you can just write to us.
Yeah, they can write to you or they can see you in the 15th of May at your virtual stand.
Absolutely. So yeah, like on the 15th of May, it'll be my colleague David at the event, and he is Spanish speaking. So you can ask him all of your questions in great detail, and he will say the answers in Spanish.
Awesome. So if there aren't any additional questions, I just want to thank you again, Sumi, for your time and everyone else for being here. I thought it was a great session with a lot of people joining. Thank you so much. Remember, this was recorded, so it's going to be on our YouTube page in case you want to go back to it or you want to recommend it to a friend or family member. Thank you so much for being here. See you all May 15th at FUNED Connected, and remember to use the Pearson FUNED PTE code for your 20% discount on the test. Thank you so much, Sumi. Have a great afternoon. Thank you for your time, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Sophia. Thank you, Funed. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.